anything Guillermo does, I want to be involved with because he's just a fantastic creative force. As a designer, it's a dream job.
Naturally.
What struck me was that there were 8 different stories, that they were 8 complete different worlds. For me, this was going to be designer boot camp.
This is a show that I always wanted to make because we can show a variety of styles of horror fiction, fantasy, and each of the episodes takes you to a very different place.
I couldn't have asked for anything more, my friend. The witch house.
I was so into building the witch house, which I worked actually really closely with Lize because, you know, he made this incredible witch costume with twigs and lines and funny things. So we were going back and forth sharing like all these bits and pieces because we made this witch house that had, of course, big beams with the same vines and twigs. And it was like she was intertwined into her environment.
We were in a early meeting and we were convinced that because I was going to be completely CG, it came up and all of a sudden Costumes was going to actually make the costume. And we went through a lot of different processes with it. And at the end of the day, we sculpted every last branch. It had a hydraulic lift for the skirt hem so that we could use it in master shots hitting the ground, and for stunt sequences we could lift it up. Even the fabric itself was molded to look like tree bark. That looked like it had lived a life of 400 plus years.
And the other set that was really interesting, and the whole process, was the forest. So we were going to shoot in a forest, but shooting in November in Ontario was not going to be easy. So then Catherine and I started talking about building a forest, and Guillermo was all for it, just easier, and it had to be magical. It was sort of the forest of lost souls, so it couldn't just be a regular forest.
Awesome. Welcome to the Sandpiper House.
Panos had this vision of everything in a circle, like they're trapped in a prison is how I interpolated it. Like you can't get out of a circle easily. And then there's a hall. And we did all kinds of perspective stretching. And we were looking at brutalist imagery and 1960s, 1970s colors and tones. I remember Lize wanted to go out there with some 70s looks. And Panos wanted to do very simple aesthetics for the costumes. We did that, and then we did the outside after, and he got his dream come true with these women that he had to dress that were just crazy, colorful blasts with jewelry, and like they were so outrageous and over the top. And we kept that house all white, so it's really about his costumes.
Miss Chapman?
That was super fun to do because in the context of the 7 other episodes, nothing brought color out like that episode, where our characters were like fish in an aquarium. And that was how the director had wanted those characters to be. Each of these projects were their own little features, so to speak. And each of them had a kind of a unique approach, which was great.
It was a designer's dream to deal with 8 wonderfully fascinating personalities and the 8 directors. Honor Guillermo's vision, honor my vision, and I loved it, and I loved doing it. I loved everybody on my crew and everybody I worked with, but it was definitely a challenge.
Okay, cut. That was great. We'll do 20 more like this, and we're great.
Thank you.